from my foot, the foot of my brother, and the eye of my other brother, you cow. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXXChic, and welcome back to another reaction to The Umbrella Academy. It is the finale of Season 2, Episode 10, which is called The End of Something. So, this has been a ride. I feel like this season has been really good for the most part. Of course, I've had my little critiques here and there, which you would have seen if you've watched the reviews of my videos, but overall, I feel like this has been a great, solid second season of a show that really is so unique and fun, and I think they generally handled the situation of having a large cast with their own individual stories pretty well in this season. So I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of sad that we're already at the end of it. However, I know there's a season 3 coming at some point, so it's not the end of the journey, it's just a pause. We're just paused for a little while. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they're going to tie this up with a sprinkle of how they're going to open the door for the next season. And yeah, let's just get into this episode so we can talk about this episode and of course the entire season. So if you have been here before and you like what you see, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's what lets me know that you like this kind of content, and of course it helps me to grow my family. You know, girls got some goals and you can help me get there if that is something that you would like to do. You know, I'd appreciate it very much. And also, just another reminder that this show is not a substitute for the real thing. If you are interested in watching The Umbrella Academy, please go support that on Netflix. Cool? Cool. All right. Without further ado, let's get into this finale right about now. Oh, is this when Ben died? Yeah. Ben made a point of saying exactly how long ago he died in the last episode, which I thought was interesting. Oh, go!
Your father is ready to give the eulogy, children.
The world is full of injustice. Individuals who have the strength to pull together against insurmountable odds, to face adversity with unblinking courage, and not to hesitate to sacrifice themselves for another.
Diego was always a mama's boy, huh?
None of you are such people. Despite years of training and weeks of preparation, you allowed number 6 to die on this mission.
Wow!
Excuses? I will not hear them.
Wow.
Training will be cancelled today out of respect for your brother. We resume tomorrow at 6 a.m.
While I somewhat understand where he was going with that, maybe the delivery could have used a little finesse. Oh, Klaus. He's trying to bring him back. It worked! I think it's the first time Klaus ever did it on his own before, like on purpose.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I was going to say, it's interesting how their father fostered this competitive spirit between them, sadly, with something like this. It's very good intro. But also interesting how Klaus never really had to mourn Ben the same way the rest of them did, which is interesting.
Look out for this unidentified boy, who they believe is being held hostage by the suspected...
Oh, it's true.
So true!
I do feel like I'm being held hostage.
Okay.
I'm sorry, since when are you an expert in the commission?
Since I got back from there.
What?
Doesn't make you an expert, Diego, but
Good job.
you do know what you're talking about to some degree. Oh, again, this is before they had call trace. It's okay. I was about to say, maybe she shouldn't call. Yo, he be forming full sentences now? Please don't run away, Vanya. Please ask for help.
We need to move.
I know that he needs my help. I need your help too.
Good girl, Vanya.
I'm scared.
Good
The
girl.
first time in my life, I don't want to do it alone.
But did he say anything about
You?
me?
He wanted me to tell you that he was too scared to go to the light. It wasn't you that made him stay. Look, I'm sorry, but you should get out, because I
Oh no, I'm coming.
He's coming with you.
Can't let you face the unknown alone, right?
I was about to say.
2 more? What about the commission?
Well, might as well do some good before you die horribly.
Woo! You owe me 1 cent.
Cute!
Children ride in the back.
I keep forgetting he is actually the oldest there now. Wait, where's
I don't
Luther?
know what to say.
Okay. Now we're a team. Oh god. Alright.
And then we'll make some fat joke and I'm out of here.
That stress eating be getting to you, boy. We need to just go down to 1 plate of scrambled eggs a day. Okay, how about that? Oh, damn. Okay. Then there's that happening.
Who are they?
One's the handler, the other's Diego's girlfriend.
Carlos. That's my ex-girlfriend. You know what?
Were you ever actually officially dating?
As the head of the commission, I've decided to eliminate the criminals responsible for the assassination of the former board of directors.
Yeah, right. We didn't kill the board.
Actually, Diego, that's not
Totally did. I'm a kind of an assassin.
Which one's the girlfriend?
Nah!
to get my family.
The shade to Diego's mommy issues.
Pegged on our...
Oh, well, I don't like your chances. 7 of us, 2 of you.
You know you're right. Let's change that.
Okay. The odds are definitely more in your favor. Vanya, I'm gonna need you to blow up the world again. I know, awkward request, but really, please. Is it bad that I kind of want 5 to just teleport and be like, sorry guys? Hold on to him and teleport. I was about to say, what are you doing? Wait, what? Has he always been able to do this? New information! How have we never seen this before? Let's just wipe them all off in 1 clean sweep, shall we, Vanya? He's like, oh no. They know to duck now. They're like, way to go, sis! So much more effective when you're not trying to kill us.
Your turn, dear.
Wait, what? That's why they killed her parents, is because she was one of the babies? The surprises keep coming. Holy crap! Oh no! Aww, dead friends.
What was that?
Must have redirected Vanya's energy.
Yeah, I know.
No! Okay, so she can mimic powers.
I heard a rumor. You stopped breathing.
She can reflect powers, Allison. I guess she didn't pick that part up. Interesting. So she has to see them to mimic it? Sorry, I am sad about this, but at the same time I'm fascinated. Did she fight it?
You okay? You okay?
I'm so confused.
I have to do the thing because
Cute. Here she is to steal Harlan. I was right. She does want Harlan.
Who the hell are you? can do everything we can do, then she might as well just be one of us.
Yeah, you weren't the only ones born this way.
No, there's no way you can be.
It's a reasonable conclusion.
Well, there were only 7 of us.
Maybe we need to consider that there's more
Only 7 that your dad got.
I mean,
But she's not our biological sister. Right?
Well, you guys aren't biologically related either.
So
Wow.
mirror.
I never realized what she was up to at the time, but now it all makes sense.
She wanted you.
Well, she never cared about your parents. She was looking for you.
Hello? You can do things.
Because you're one of us. Just like our asshole father took all of us.
no, it's not the same thing.
Correct.
Right.
Because he didn't have our parents murdered.
It's true. He paid them handsomely.
The only thing she loves is power.
Damn.
The minute she can't use you, she will turn on you, and deep down, I know you know that.
It's true. You know when she almost squished your face off like 2 episodes ago? I mean, none of them are trying to attack you right now. You should take that into consideration. I don't trust Lila, though. She's really broken. Knew it.
It's true what Five said, isn't it?
Darling, I need to know that we can get past this.
As in, she'll shoot you to death right now if you can't.
Do you even love me?
Not really. She loves what you can do. I think you knew that was coming, sweetie. That's from my foot, the foot of my brother, and the eye of my other brother, you cow. Wow.
Seconds.
See? I knew this lesson was going to come back in some time. He just needs to go back to before the handler shows up. There we go. Just before the handler shows up. That's all you need. This looks amazing. Hats off, VFX teams. This is awesome. Thank God for time travel.
Well,
It's fine. Peace out, handler. I mean, you were an amazing character, but you had to go. The 2 of them. Sorry. Hilarious.
Who the hell was that guy?
Poor Klaus. He's so lost. They're all like, good for you for containing your powers, boo. Oh, wow. Yeah, there is the field of dead folks everywhere. That's Ox.
I've been voted in as acting chairperson.
Yay!
That's huge. I'm so goddamn nervous.
Home, where we belong.
Pick a case. Any case. Right? Only a few thousand of them out here right now. Who's gonna clean this up?
Sissy?
Tell me we could have a normal life there. And no one would ever come after us or be with you like they did today.
Nope, not gonna happen. Much like the speech Luther gave earlier this season to Allison, y'all don't get a normal life because y'all ain't normal. He's gonna join Klaus's cult.
You need a ride?
How full circle is that? I should have known it wasn't a complete change. What's going on with him?
Find the right way home.
I'm scared. The handler said a lot of stuff to him before she killed the others. Welcome back!
God.
Oh my God, it's over.
That's hilarious. They're like, the first time we had a good mission, guys. High five.
Why is there a painting of Ben over the mantelpiece?
Oh, right. That's true. That was her dad.
I knew you'd show up eventually.
Wait, what? Huh?
Home. This isn't your home.
What are you
What?
talking about? This is the Umbrella Academy.
Wrong again. This is the Sparrow Academy.
Lila, where did she go?
Dad, who the hell are these assholes?
Emo Ben? No! Oh my god! Ben is back and he's emo! That made me happy! Sorry. Oh, but that makes sense because even though they came back, it's a new timeline. That's the only way there couldn't be an apocalypse. They had to be a brand new timeline. And in that timeline, my baby didn't have to die. And I guess it makes sense because the old Ben is now gone. So he couldn't be... Thoughts and feels. Alright guys, that was the season finale of season 2 of the Umbrella Academy, and I like how that ended open. I love the open-ended, what do they call that? The backdoor premiere for season 3, which we don't know when that's going to come out yet, but I am already excited for it. I'm already ready to binge season 3. So yes, this finale I feel like was done well, in the sense of it wrapped up the storylines we kind of had going on. Although I feel like last episode kind of wrapped up a lot of it. Like as soon as we didn't thwart JFK being assassinated and we stopped Vanya from blowing up the federal building, we kind of at least got ourselves onto an even keel as far as the group was concerned and not having an apocalypse happen in the 60s. And then we just needed that final puzzle piece of getting to 2019 again, because they did not belong there, and obviously the longer they were there, the more of a muck they were kind of running, and again, increasing the potential that they could create another apocalypse of some kind, which seems to be, that really seems to be the Umbrella Academy's real superpower, is to bring mass death and destruction on the world. I kind of want to get into, the end really kind of filters into a lot of questions that I have, but I'm going to leave the little ending with the new timeline alone, just to jump into a couple of other things that I thought were really cool in this episode. I really enjoyed how the family, that scene where Vanya, you know, she senses that something is wrong with Harlan, and she decides to ask her family for help in going to get him. I loved that part, because I mean, even though it was just a small scene, it's such a... it's one we've needed for a very long time. It's one that has been missing, I think, from the group as the Umbrella Academy, because I think I mentioned a few episodes ago that one of the few things we've never seen with the Umbrella Academy is them really work together as a group outside of the flashbacks of when they were teenagers, right? We've never actually seen them come together and work together and use their powers together. Now, we didn't really get that this season either. Like... I feel like Netflix is really trying hard to keep the budget as minimal as possible with this show because, you know, almost all their powers, with the exception of maybe Diego's, require a certain level of CGI, which is expensive, clearly, but we still got the group acting together. We're going to talk about Diego's powers in a minute because I'm mad. But yeah, we kind of got them sort of coming together as they are with everything that they know for the first time, right? Because in season 1, they came together for the funeral. That was understandable, but they were still very fractured, right? All of them had gone off to live their separate lives. They barely had anything to do with each other. The emotional damage and rifts that their father's very hard and heartless way of raising them in some ways, it just didn't allow for them to bond outside of being able to work together and, of course, having abilities. So they really didn't come together so much as be in the same space in season 1 and then kind of be forced to work together in order to keep the apocalypse from happening. But even in season 2, we didn't even really get that, right? Because with the teleport, they didn't all end up together. They were, again, distributed across different times. Same place, at least. But again, they weren't really put together physically. And because of that, and because they'd already been so fractured in their other lives, I guess you could call it, it was very easy for them to just kind of dissolve into their own little bubbles, if you will, right? They didn't really look for each other. They were very used to living independently, but that whole theme of them needing each other without really understanding that they needed each other was still here in this season, and it was brought out a little bit in last season, how lost they've all kind of been without each other, because despite how different they are and how different the paths that they chose were, they are all brought together by this unique bond of not being normal, right? They all have superpowers of some kind. So that's kind of this common thread that only each other understands, and that's what kind of keeps them together and holds that familial bond, along with also having like the worst upbringing ever. So it was really cute to see that scene where Vanya decided that instead of going off on her own the way she would have in the past because she felt so isolated, she's like, I want to do things differently this time. Just like Ben's final words before he ascended, she needs to also put forth the effort to open up to her family. That was just a really sweet scene, and I love seeing them all pile into the station wagon, and poor Luther, who's put on just a few quarantine pounds. You know, he's been stress eating all season, and maybe at his size he shouldn't be doing it. I just loved it. He's like, anyone makes a fat joke and I swear. And that coming together ended up feeding beautifully into how they needed to deal with the situation of when Lila, that is something we need to get into, having to deal with Lila and what she almost managed to do at the end of the season. Like, if they hadn't kind of come together on that emotional level, they probably, like, we already see it. Like, if they hadn't gone with Vanya, Lila probably would have taken Vanya out herself. Let's just talk about Lila for a second. I did not see that turn coming with her at all, and I think that's because the show did a fantastic job of making sure that Lila never, ever, ever gave us an inkling to her abilities. It put so many puzzle pieces together as to why the handler was so, like, because I was like, that seems so strange. Like, why would the handler suddenly decide to adopt a child? Like, I'm assuming that the handler went against protocol and decided to have one of these miracle babies for herself. She clearly would have seen, I think, from where she was via the, what are they called? The Infinite Network. I'm pretty sure she would have seen what, or gone back at least in the footage and figured out what Reggie Hargreaves had done by adopting these kids, and figured out that, oh, okay, so all these kids were born at a certain date and time, and she would have known that, as we knew as an audience, that Reggie only was able to get, he was only able to get the kids that he was, but he went and he tried to find so many more, right? But not all of them were willing to sell their children to him. So we already know as an audience that there's potentially hundreds. I can't remember the amount, actually. I'm trying to remember if in season 1 they said how many were born. They probably did. I'm sorry, I forgot. But she would have known there was more out there, is my point. And there's no, they did not say whether or not all of those kids had abilities, because it's possible some of them didn't. So with all that in mind, it looks like, the handler went off script and decided to get one of these for herself. When you think about it, it's actually a really smart plan to have one of these powered children that's under your control. For, that was obviously, Lila was she was her backup plan, right? That was her little inside pocket, back pocket option that she had, that in case anything ever didn't quite go the way the handler wanted, she always had this trump card that she could pull out and no one would be expecting it, right? So many more things make sense. So many things looking back, I'm like, of course. She has an amazing ability. Like, she reminds me of Rogue from X-Men, except that she doesn't have to touch them. It looks like as long as she can see the ability, she's able to mimic it, which is cray-cray. And I think that was a really great lesson as well for the Umbrella Academy when you think about it, because they've never had to deal with anybody who can mirror their power. So, but she's a cool character overall. I didn't have an issue with Lila. She was very fun and interesting to watch, and it was great to see another woman of color in the cast. So I'm sure we'll see her again, and we'll see what happens with that. And as far as Diego, I was really proud of him for kind of stepping up and kind of trying to save her in that moment. You know, Vi was very much like, let's kill her. We have no choice, let's kill her. And honestly, I was a little bit 50-50 because Lila's been conditioned for so long by her mother, that I wasn't sure if she would let Diego get through to her, but I'm glad that, you know, it turned out that she would have, and that Diego sensed that in her and saved her. Like, I would much rather Diego channel his energy into trying to help Lila figure out a way of living now that she's no longer her mom's little murder machine, versus him going on these reckless missions where he doesn't really have the full story. But as a character, I love him. I think just like the rest of them, he's a very cool character with his own set of good and bad and cool things and not so cool things, which actually dovetails beautifully into, oh my god, Diego can create force fields? We've never seen this before. I am fairly certain not once in season 1 did I ever see Diego throw up a force field. How did we not know this? Can he only put it around himself? Can he throw it? How far does this thing go? How big does it get? I have questions. And he actually was able to throw those bullets in another direction, which means it's almost like a type of telekinesis. Is that how his blades have always worked? Because that's why I wasn't sure. I saw, like, we know that his blades always go where he wants them to, but I always assumed that was because he had, like, really good aim. But it's telekinesis. Or is it the telekinesis that he uses to direct the blades where he wants? I have questions. And of course, last episode of the season, so, haha, joke's on me, I don't get to find out. But wow. Wow. Thanks, show. How do you only bring that out now? I'm livid. But anyways, it looks like it takes a lot out of him though, so maybe that's why he doesn't use it very much. But anyways, that was super cool though. I loved seeing it, and as I've said, I think at the beginning of the season, I expect to see evolution of powers. That's one of my biggest things whenever I watch any superhero or superpowered or, you know, people who are not human, whatever. I want to see evolution of powers, especially if you've got younger people. I want to see evolution of powers with these characters. I want to see them grow with them. I want to see more. And we really haven't gotten a lot of that. But as I said earlier in this review, that may be because they're trying to keep the budget friendly in this show. There was another quick moment, I guess, that we saw between Allison and, you know, when Allison had her power turned up against her and Luther desperately saved her life. I feel like there was more to that moment than we saw. It looked like either one of two things happened. Either whatever the connection is they have between them was enough to pull Allison out of it. It's like Luther was ready to, like, literally break her chest in half, giving her CPR. Okay, he was not gonna let her die, which is a beautiful moment, by the way, because yeah, we already know their tragic and slightly skewed love story, but I don't know if it was that, or if Allison found the resolve with seeing how hard Luther was working to somehow reach into her own self and be like, wait, no, this is my power. We don't do this. So I think there was a reason we saw it go down like that, and I don't think it was just to solidify that their relationship is deep, but I think that there might have been something else there, much like how Vanya's figured out that she can transfer a portion of her powers, which dovetails into the ending, finally. The ending was, oh my gosh, talk about ending with so many questions left to be answered. As I said at the end of the reaction there, if they came back and the apocalypse never happened, that means that a new timeline was created. And again, if you follow all the timeline, time-jumping scenarios that are out there, they always say the same thing, which is that, you know, every time you go back in time, if you change one thing, you cause a fracture in the timeline and a new stream is created. Between when all of them showed up in the timeline, they all made a lot of ripples. So, unsurprisingly, the world they're in now in 2019 is very different than the one they left. And so, biggest one being that there is no Umbrella Academy. It was the Sparrow Academy. Yes, apparently Umbrella ceased to exist, and I think that might have had to do with the fact that this new version of Reggie killed the Magnificent 12, which we don't know if they still existed in the old timeline. And obviously he remembered them from the past, and he's still alive. That's another big thing. He didn't die this time around, but it looks like he created a completely different academy. But Ben was still in that academy. Ben is emo. Ben is back, which makes me so happy. I've already said, even if Ben is kind of a dick this time around and a bit emo, I'm not going to be against it because it's Ben. And I just want Ben to be alive. And I just love the idea of, in season 3, them trying to make a new dynamic with a Ben who's just like a jerk. I'm wondering if the powers are going to be the same too. Maybe this Ben will not still have the same powers. So there's all those questions. And then, of course, what they're going to do now that there's a whole other group of powered people who potentially might include Lila, because Lila, we have no idea where she jumped to. So lots of fodder to think about, lots to jump into for season 3. I think they ended it on a perfect note and a perfect cliffhanger to whet our appetites for season 3. So I really enjoyed watching this season, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you like what you see and you've been here before, please go ahead and click subscribe and join the fam for more reactions for when this show comes back or any others you might like that I watch. So thanks so much, guys, and until next time, see ya!